Tracy, I'm so sorry to bother you right now, Older said, but I have to ask you some questions. Wake up, though.
Alexa, pause. So I'm still sticking to Halloween colors for Christmas. And I have this glitter that is by Glitter Makes It and Dawn of the Dead. I think it's really pretty. And yes, it's glittery, but it's those colors. So I'm hoping that it passes for, if not, it'll go to my craft show. But I think it's super pretty. And I went ahead and I mic'd most of the deer. I'm just going to put this in the antlers. I thought about adding a brown to this, but then I really didn't want a mix between the glitter and a brown. So that's how come I am doing what I'm doing. And I think maybe I'm going to do a drop of the this is called dark purple, just one drop into the glitter mix, just to tint it just a little bit. I think it's pretty. What do you think? Just a tint. All right, so I think I'm going to pour some clear first. And by the way, I'm using magic resin. I got these molds in. It did take a little longer than normal, but I did order them from Amazon. I believe it took me about 5 days to get them, so I'm not 100% where they ship from. Normally I get my items from Amazon in just a couple of days, so not sure what, but some of these things come from another country, and they're not stocked local, which is fine. I've seen other mixed media and resin artists use them, and so I've been waiting, patiently waiting. And I kind of waited to, kind of last minute deal to order them. I don't know why. I just kept thinking, well, I have a lot of other molds. I really didn't need another one. But in the end, I decided I needed it. It actually came with this mold, and then there's 2 other ones, and they're all different deer. But right now I'm just going to focus on this because I do have some other molds I want to get to today. And then I'm trying to finish up with the VA donations, which I found out that they needed some Christmas ornaments for a Christmas tree, which kind of works out because I do have a lot of ornaments. I even have some ornaments left over from last year, so we're going to be good. I'm going to be able to help them out, and I'm excited about that. The good thing about the mica is you may get a glimpse if the glitter, runs into the mica area. You may get a little bit of that, but that's okay. I just did not want the whole mix showing up in the deer. So, oops, I made an oopsie, didn't I? Let me get that out. Hold on just a minute, guys. I'll be back. Workflow. Alright guys, I'm back. Had some workflow to do. I went ahead and finished while I was talking and dealing with the customer. And then I pulled this mold out, and I just got this in the other day. I have not done it yet. My husband had 3D printed for me but I hadn't poured a mold from it. So I just ordered this from Welton Creations, which is Denise Welton. She does a fantastic job. And so yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I am going to do a little white and a little green, maybe a little red, and see what we can come up with this mold. I think I'm going to do this in 2 pours just because I want to try to keep my colors separated. So, crossing fingers, let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, so I need a good green. And what I found, and if I can get over here to it, I'm trying to find my good green that I've been using for the Grinch. I don't know that it's quite dark enough, but it's been one of my go-tos for the Grinch. Let me see. All right. So I've been bouncing back and forth between 2 options, but I've been using this avocado. This pastel, I feel like is just a little bit too bright. This avocado is not exactly perfect, but we're going to see what we can do with the avocado. Because I've been kind of using this green for, if I can get it opened here, for the Grinch. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit. I just put a little bit of resin in over here. And just put a little bit of this avocado in. All right, gonna mix this up. Set that out of the way. I did use that Halloween Dawn of the Dead in the bulb just because I already had that mixed up. That's the green that I'm coming up with. I know that it's not perfect, but I think that's what we're going to see about continuing to use. I have other ones, but I'm kind of liking this green for this. So to keep from, I'm just going to put it in the section. Like I said, I'm going to do 2 coats. I'm going to do the color coat in this, and then I'm going to come back and do a top coat clear later today, because I have everything on a heating mat on top of a leveling board. I want to, with mica, you can get bubbles easier. Because it does make it thick. So I'm just going to work with this to try to keep from getting bubbles. I use the tip of a syringe to work into these places. Let's put a little bit more. Alright, let me get this off the edge and work that in. And if you'll notice with resin, where there's resin, resin will flow. And it's kind of nice to understand that. Make sure we're not doing any kind of bubbles here. I'm excited to use this mold for the first time. Let me do this. I do see where I might run into a slight problem, because this finger here doesn't have an indentation for the color. I do notice that. So that's a dilemma for me, trying to make a decision on how I'm going to make sure that that finger gets some green. I'm going to have to figure out my top coat just get this in here. Let's figure this out first, right? Don't want any bubbles, so let's try to get this worked through here. Let's do this. I may be able to work with this a little bit. Just don't. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and try this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep this green, you know, from... Oh, yeah, I did not see it. Hey, my eyesight's not the greatest. I do feel it, though. Wow, I missed that. There is an indentation there with the green. Awesome. My eyesight was missing that, which tells me it's a good thing I am not a surgeon. Cool beans. That works, right? Put a little bit green in this spot here. Sorry, Denise, if you're watching this. My eyesight wasn't the greatest and I missed that. I should have known that you did everything perfect. Let's just make sure, no bubbles. Awesome sauce. All right, so we've got green here. Had started this heart. So I'm going to pour the green, some green in that. Let's set that to the side. All right, so I need to do a little bit of white, and let me see if I have some small cups. I'll be right back. I know I have everything. It's great because a lot of the times, whenever you're ordering stuff, they send you extra things to have on hand. Extra measuring cups, extra this, extra that. There we go, extra those. I do have an extra huge box of them. At some time I did, just need a little bit of white there. I did order a huge box of those, so I do have a box put up. Let's grab a clean stick. I just want a tad, I'm talking about just a tad of white in that. And I use this most of the time. I have run out of, excuse me, my white casting craft. Jesus, don't know where that come from. All right, so let's get the white in here. And while I'm coughing, what happens? I can tell you what happened. Heating and ventilation system just kicked on. So, things are flying. Things are moving around me. That's what happened. As I get older, I find that more things tend to bother me. Dust particles, and animal hair. There we go. We got the white in there. I got to go through here. You wipe this off. Let's go through here and make sure I don't have any bubbles. Awesome. Just kind of get through there. She makes some very high quality molds. Most of your molds, like these, you got to be careful with. You can scratch them. I find that Denise's molds are such high quality that I don't really, I mean, I'm careful, but I'm not I don't have to be all that careful. I don't have to be on point. Let me get over here. Just trying to, there we go. There's some little increases there. All right. And this is a druzy that this is in. So I'm just going to go back through and just kind of make sure that everything's going down in there properly. Got my white. I'm going to set that to the side. Don't know where I'm going to use it. Now I need to do some red. Let's get another cup. And for this, I use a blood red paste. It is the alumnite, or however you want to say it, ALUM, but it's a mess, so I keep it wrapped. Shouldn't need but one drop. I promise you, when you see how this works, you're going to be like, wow, you didn't even need that drop. So let's show you. Look at that red. Awesome, isn't it? So for this, I think I'm going to put some of my crushed crystal in it, and I just had it a little while ago. Let me see where I put the crushed crystal at. Wow. Let's put this away because that's not, a crushed crystal always sits right there. Oh, all right, I put it over here to the side. This is crushed crystal. It's unicorn art. I love it. I'm going to put me a little shimmer, just a little shimmer in this red, and you can see the particles going everywhere. You're not supposed to breathe this stuff in. I do use a pretty good ventilation system. And this, anything I do is on me, okay? You should read your PPE on any of the products that you use. Look at how pretty that red is. Wow. Yep. Probably mixed up a little bit too much, but hey, we're working with Christmas today. Well, right now we're doing some Halloween colors for Christmas, but all right. Very good. Let me set that over here. Make sure this tip's wiped off. I'm going to go through here. Just make sure that we got the edges are pushing those bubbles up out of the way if there's any there. Now, you can see how the white has settled. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to add a little bit more white just to kind of build it up a little bit. I don't want it to go over. There. And green, I'm going to just build the green up just a little bit. And sometimes you can see it only takes a drop or two. You don't want to make a mistake of pouring. Just a drop or two. Just build it up just a little bit. Just a tiny bit in that. See how it just kind of balances itself out? Makes it pretty nice. I just need like a partial. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do here. There we go. There we go. It worked out well. We'll move a little bit more over there. We got it. All right. This is to the ledge, so I'm not going to add any more to this. But I'm excited. I want to see how this turns out, right? Move this over just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can pull out another mold. See, yes. Another one from Welton Creations. This one came in a Christmas or a holiday grab bag that I got this mold, an angel mold. Look how cool that is. And we're going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pour some more of this in that. All right. I think I'm going to do this. Let's do some green. I think I'm going to spray this though. Let me spray. 99% alcohol. And let's do some green up in here. That off. Let's take some green around. Alright, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to drop just a little bit of these colors in where it would be like the little snowflakes. I'm going to try to work that in just a little bit. I'm hoping because I did spritz it with the alcohol, it'll help move it down in there. Just going to work that in. Over here and do the same thing, work that in. I'll get my needle nose out here in a minute and see if we can't help it along. A little bit here, a little bit here. Alright, so let's do this. Let's kind of work this into these areas like so. Make sure that we're getting resin and maybe a little bit of that orange and purple into these areas. Some of these pieces of glitter are just a little bit larger than what, but we're getting it. Let's do what we can. Just trying to stick with this whole Halloween colors on Christmas. Let's try this over here. And just dip my needle nose in here, just kind of get some of that out. Go over here, work with it this way. My white is being blocked by the cup. There we go. I use the lights that, like this bright one that's coming down on me. I got it at IKEA. I love it. I love it. I shop at IKEA 2 or 3 times a year because it's not local to me. So I drive to Pittsburgh, up in the Robinson Town Center area, and I go to IKEA there. I am due for another trip to IKEA because I use only their Ziploc style bags because they have so many random sizes. I love them. I keep all my molds either in the good plastic they come in if it's salvageable and I don't have to tear it, or I store my molds in IKEA bags and then put them in buckets on shelves. So IKEA is my favorite place to go to. I'm working this in. Making sure that I'm getting in all the little indentations. Some of these, because of the way the edge is, I'm not getting 100% view, but I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job feeling my way around. Get a little bit more in here. Make sure what I'm trying to do is prevent bubbles in these little areas. I'm going to spritz it here in a minute just to kind of bring some bubbles to the top, but what I'm going to do now is, because I have that in, I'm going to pour some of my green in. And some of the red. Let's get this red out of this area. I'll have to wipe that off. And I'm going to get some more of the green, what I can get out of this cup, along this side, because I want it to kind of stick with the green on the side as much as possible. But I think that this really will, as long as I don't end up with the bubbles. I think this is going to turn out really, really pretty with these colors, because I am a fan of black and purple. And so I know there's not really any black in this mold, but I feel like even though you can't see it, you know, because of the colors that I'm using, it's there. I'm gonna mix some of this white in these areas. White will sink, but I'm also going to do a little bit of a swirl just so that we get some white in. Okay, now let me make sure I got the green back here like I want it. Like, yeah, there we go. Okay, now let's just kind of swirl this a little bit, because I want it to swirl at the base, at the on the bottom too. There we go. I think that looks good. I think that looks really good. I want to swirl a little bit up here with the green. I want to swirl it enough that it sinks down. Because at this point, if we can, we'd like to have both sides that look really good. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's done. I'm going to go ahead and this heart I'm working on over here with these colors, I'm going to go ahead and drop some of that white in, and maybe it'll sink. I didn't make it real heavy, but I can swirl it a little bit if I feel like it needs it, just to kind of push it through. Let me wipe these things off. Let's do that. Wipe my tip. Wipe the white stick. Set it on the mat. All right. I think we got this about as good as it's going to get right through here. I think we're kind of at that point. Just gonna kind of dome this a little bit. I am running out of my work time. I can feel it getting thick, so it's not gonna move a whole lot on me, I don't feel like. So, oops, I made an oopsie. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to put the rest of this in this heart. Push it down on the white. Maybe push that white down a little bit. No waste, guys. No waste. Right now I'm doing hearts for pocket hugs and different things like that. People really love the hearts. So let's get rid of that cup. Let me clean this stick. Okay. This looks really good. Okay. Let's put some red in this subject over here. Let's see what we get out of this. Sometimes I like to rub it along the side edge so that it will go down in along the side and kind of flow that way. Of course, we hope it does it, or I do. Resin has a mind of its own. So we'll see. All right, that one's done. Let's wipe this up. Set that there. I think that's pretty. We're gonna go ahead and drop the last of the green in. Just mess it around there. There we go. Rub it along the side. All right, good to go that way. Let me wipe this stick up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is, because I still have some clear, I'm gonna pour some clear in. I'm gonna finish filling this heart up with some clear. All right, and then I'm gonna come over here with my thing, and I'm just going to kind of run it around the edges and do a little swirl, not a lot. There we go. Clean this up. And I'm looking forward to how this is going to look. Get rid of these cups. Put my spoon up. Let me put my white, my green up. Got both of the greens out. All right. So I think this is going to be pretty. I think these are really going to pop. I'm going to spray. Just going to do a little spritz. A little bit more back there on that heart, because I like it when I spray those hearts, and then it will, if there's an edge, I'm going to go ahead and run this around that edge again. Get that alcohol up underneath there. There we go. See how that's getting thick? So, with that being said, I have some clear left. I do have some other ornaments over here. Let me check and see. I have about 50 mil left. I am thinking really hard about doing this mold that came in my Christmas grab bag. It's different. It's really pretty. I can tell you right now it's going to be really pretty. Let me see if I can get some of these things out of the way, and let me see if I can work it into this work area by moving some things around. Don't want to jar things too much, but you see how good those molds are made? Like, they are made so well. All right, yay, we got room. So let's pour this in. Got a good bit of clear I can add to this. I'm going to work it around, no bubbles, because this is getting thick into my work time, because having to actually answer phone calls and run my actual profit making business, if you want to call it that. Let me get this out of the way. When I have some left in these silicone containers, I let it flow down dry, and I have a monster size cup of just those discs that harden in the bottom. And when I do like the big skeleton molds, I can see bubbles in here. When I do the big skeleton molds, just like right now, I am collecting marbles, and I'm going to layer the clear in with the marbles, so all the marbles won't be just like laying on top of each other, and it look like they're in kind of a suspended state, because the clear you will not actually be able to see in the mold. And you see I'm getting some bubbles here. Lots of bubbles through here, lots of bubbles. Can you see that? Lots of bubbles. Let's see what I can do here. Don't want those bubbles to stay in there. But this is the end of my work time with this resin, and I'm going to try my best. Let me get some alcohol on this seam. Bubbles all up through here, but being on the heat mat, they'll pull up. See them? See all those bubbles? Let me get some alcohol. See what we can do. Lots and lots of bubbles. And this may be one of those projects that, where'd that come from? Alright, let me see. If there are bubbles left in this, it's my fault, because this is my end of my work time, and I probably picked the wrong mold to work at the end. I do have them pretty much away from the edges. May need to jack this heat mat up just a tad bit, see if I can help it along that way. See that that's getting thick? We'll turn that heat mat up. I usually keep it on medium or lower, but would really like to heat this up. The bubbles are down in the bottom. I don't use a torch. I don't want to mess up my molds. The good thing is, if I end up with a lot of bubbles, I will come back and dome the top and do my best to eliminate some of those visual bubbles. Let's see what we can do here. Make sure I got these. away from the side. I wanted to drop some inks into this, and some inks may actually help. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Lay that down, and let me find some inks. Let's see what we got here. A purple, a green, an orange, and this is, let me see what that's called. Burnt umber. I'm not sure. There we go. Spritz it with some alcohol. Drop some purple. I think I'll use the purple around the face area mostly. We'll see how this works because it's at the end of its working cycle. It's not going to move a lot, so I'll probably have to help it move. We're going to put some green. Around the edges. Alright, let's see what we got going on. We got some orange. Like I said, don't know what we're going to have because of the bubbles. I'm just really kind of doing this in that theme. Purple, green, added some brown to it. I see bubbles popping though. I see them coming up since I jumped the heat up on this mat. Don't know, may add a few more brown. Starting to spread a little bit. Let me think about I don't know where my black is. There it is. Let's add a little black. Don't want a lot, but this ink tends to move better. This is the Mod Podge. All right, I see bubbles popping. Let me see. Get rid of this. Don't know what it's going to turn out like, do we? See bubbles coming up. Let's wipe this off. Do a little swirl. See if we can't move some of those surface bubbles up. And it's going to be interesting to see what this comes out like, right? And if I have to do some bubble repair on the top end, if I do, it's on me. Like I said, at the end of the work time, this is really, really thick. And I jack the heat up on the mat. So it's pretty interesting the way the colors are. And you know, even though it's at the end, it may still move some to the center. I didn't really focus on the center. I wanted a lot of the purple in the center. I may add a couple more drops of the purple in the center because it'll move those out. Interesting. It'll be interesting if it's anything, right? It will be interesting. I have some other projects I've got to get done to get mailed out, hopefully by the 1st of next week. And some other ones in the work. There we go. To spritz it again. I still see bubbles coming up. Pretty good bubbles coming to the top. I hope that I have a minimal amount, but I know, I'm aware that I'm going to have bubbles, right? Okay, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get this covered. I'm going to let the heat mat do its job. With the heat mat, things are usually done in 3 to 4 hours, especially since I jacked this heat mat up here. And I typically don't leave this double layered, but this is a grill mat. It's semi-porous. I buy them in bulk from Sam's Club. I'm not sure if you can get them off of Temu, but I buy them in bulk, and that way when they're at the end of their life, they go in the garbage. It's kind of like using the thin silicone mats. I go through a few. I don't go, I mean, I probably end up throwing away maybe 5 or 7 a year. If they get to the point they're just done, they're done. And you know you're going to have some waste. Can't save everything. But all right, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get this posted, and then I will, oops, that ran over. I did not want that. It's a good thing I looked. Okay. All right, I'm going to get that cleaned up. I'm going to get this covered. Thanks, guys.